Have you ever watched two animal control officers show up with a catchpole for a cat named Dumpling? Because I have, and I'll treasure it until the day I die. They rolled up ready for a bobcat, and Lorraine was already pointing across the courtyard like she'd cornered a mountain lion. She shrieked about a wild predator stalking the complex, while Dumpling, my 22-pound Maine Coon, lay belly up in a sunbeam, letting a little girl bury her face in his fur. I knew exactly how this would look. Dumpling was about to prove, one more time, that he's roughly as ferocious as a bath mat. For context, Dumpling is not a normal cat. He's a raccoon-sized cloud of orange fluff who considers standing up a full workout. His rescue listing said, large, sedentary, tolerates handling well, which I read as, will let a toddler use him as a pillow. He does not hunt. A moth once landed on his nose and he simply let it live there. He became a courtyard celebrity fast. Kids visited him after school. College students in the building filmed him for their pages. The old man in 2B saved him scraps of rotisserie chicken. He was basically the building's unpaid therapy animal. But one person was immune to him, Lorraine. Lorraine chaired the courtyard committee, a committee she had founded and staffed entirely with herself, and every time she saw us, she'd mutter vermin magnet like it was the name on my lease. That morning was ordinary. Dumpling flopped onto the warm bricks by the fountain, sighed like a retiree, and clocked out for the day. I sat on the bench with my coffee, peaceful, until Lorraine came power walking over. Clipboard first. That thing is a menace, she announced. It is not a house pet. Look at the size of it. I looked at Dumpling, who was drooling faintly in his sleep. Ma'am, the most dangerous thing he's done today is snore. Her eyes narrowed. It hissed and swiped at me on Tuesday. You mean when he stretched? He's not swiping. He yawns with his arms. She yanked out her phone like she was unsheathing a sword. Animal control? There's a wild bobcat loose in a residential courtyard stalking children. Send someone now. Meanwhile, Dumpling rolled over so a different kid could scratch under his chin, purring loud enough to hear from the bench. I offered to just carry him inside. Lorraine planted herself in front of the door. Nobody moves. Let the authorities handle it. When the animal control van pulled up, Lorraine stood tall, vindicated. Two officers climbed out, one holding a catchpole, both scanning the bushes for a predator. Lorraine rushed them. Officers, thank heaven. That creature lunged at me. I feared for the children. The younger officer looked down. Dumpling was oozing toward him across the bricks at the pace of spilled honey, tail up, and collapsed onto his boot with a chirp. This the bobcat? The officer asked. That's him, I said. Careful. He's deadly if you own a warm lap. The older officer set the catchpole down. Ma'am, this is a house cat. A very large, very asleep house cat. Lorraine gasped. That's the deception. They go limp to fool you. You're right, I said. Observe. Dumpling. Attack. Dumpling opened one eye, considered the request, and rolled fully onto his back, all four paws flopping in the air, purring like a lawnmower. The younger officer wheezed. Call for backup. I've never been so scared. Don't laugh! Lorraine barked. Let me show you his file, I said, scrolling my phone. Dumpling crammed into a shoebox 3 sizes too small. Dumpling in a tiny knit dragon hat, unbothered. Dumpling asleep in the bathroom sink with one paw over his eyes. I finished on the clip of him losing a slow-motion battle with a single feather. Both officers were done. Yeah, the older one managed. Real apex predator energy in that dragon hat. Lorraine stamped her foot. You'll see when it finally turns. The older officer's smile dropped. Ma'am, false reports tie up emergency animal services. You told dispatch a child was being stalked by a wild animal. What I see is a nap. I pay HOA dues, she sputtered. I demand action. The younger officer grinned. He pays them too. Difference is, he didn't make us drive out here for a sleeping cat. Lorraine flailed. You're all covering for each other. This is a cover-up. The older officer leaned in, voice flat now. Call us out for another fake emergency and you'll be the one getting the citation. Clear? Lorraine muttered something about her attorney and marched off, clipboard clamped to her chest. World's worst guard cat, I told the officers, scratching Dumpling's ear. A burglar breaks in. He'd roll over and beg them for belly rubs. They laughed the whole way back to the van. Dumpling, blissfully unaware he was now the courtyard's most wanted fugitive, yawned, chirped, and went back to sleep. Good work today, buddy, I whispered. You beat her with a nap.